Slowing down in life will make you magnetic to everything that you desire. I have unlocked a new hack in life that is so counterintuitive, and it is the capacity to observe without reacting. It is the capacity to slow down and walk through life at a different pace. I'm in a point of life in which I have reached a very good relationship with myself. Not only because I'm in love with the woman that I am, but because this is a relationship that I build every day. And I noticed that in the past, I always felt I was rushed because I was feeling behind. There was always something that I needed to do. There was always something on my checklist, in my agenda, something that I needed to solve. And my nervous system was always in this acceleration that could never enjoy even what I already had. And in the opposite side of that, sometimes I would get so excited about things and so inspired that I felt I had to do them right away. It was always a solution based mindset, which totally robbed me of my presence. And this year, I have had a shift in which my priority is my frequency, and from my frequency, I align with everything that I desire. This has been the year where I have had the most fun. I have enjoyed my life the most, been in love with myself the most, have the best results in my business, and help other people to build also a life that they want. But also, I have slowed down, learned to rest without feeling guilty, doing the things that I enjoy prioritizing my meditation, my movement, going for flow state walks without a direction or a specific place to get, just for the sake of it. And this week I was speaking with a friend and I was realizing how I was feeling almost guilty that I'm having such a good results and being able to rest so much. And I found myself trying to put things on my checklist and to-do list because there was still like a guilt on resting. And in that conversation we were speaking about this analogy with football and Messi, and how Messi is a player that walks 90% of the game, but the second in which he receives the ball, he knows exactly how to move it to create a goal. And that is mastery in life. That's mastery in life. To know that when you slow down, you have the capacity to observe everything around you, so that the actions that you take are the specific ones that shift everything for you. I was in my flow state walk the last Sunday, and normally I journal with my voice into AI, and I was speaking out loud. I put out there all my emotions, my feelings, my thoughts, all the cards I lay on the table, without trying to sound nice, without trying to make sense of it. And I was having confusion and like a discomfort in my body for a conversation that I needed to have the next day. And where I share what I was feeling through AI, I receive a feedback that says, I don't see confusion, I see multiple truths asking for a space. And there was a side of me, there was a decision that I needed to make about supporting a person, and there was a side of me that felt very excited about it, and there was another side of me that felt like that it wasn't in alignment totally. And both things were truth. Either I decided to say yes or I decided to say no. I could be right. but there was this discomfort of not knowing what was the right thing to do. And when I received that feedback, I realized that I didn't need to make a choice in that moment. I didn't need to make a judgment of what I was feeling. And this is the hack that I was speaking about. The level of emotional mastery and maturity of slowing down is to observe everything, knowing that you don't need to react. Just letting things be there without you needing to make a judgment of them, without them triggering you or changing your state. Seeing things as they unfold. The beautiful thing about the conversation that I needed to have is that the next morning the person came back to me and she chose to do something else. This morning when I was in my meditation, I decided to ask myself, how does life feels when I choose to slow down? Even now that I'm sharing this message with you, I can feel that there's a space of discomfort when I get silent. It's almost like I needed to transmit something in a faster way. And when I see someone that walks slower, I see a person that is seductive with life. That's the difference that I see between an orgasmic state and a post-orgasmic state. That orgasmic state is in a peak, it's not sustainable. It's something that it's beyond, cannot be contained. But the post-orgasmic state is this place of surrendering, is this place of completeness, fulfillment, this place of trust in yourself and in life. It's a place where you don't need anything. You and from that state you have it all. It's such an abundant state to slow down. Mastery is when you have an axe and you're sharpening it. A lot of people spend their entire life sharpening the axe, but they never hit the tree. So they don't do anything. And there's a lot of people that never sharpen their axe and they can hit the tree as much as they want and it's never going to come down. There's this beauty there, this art in knowing that you're sharpening your axe and that is very well refined, but then you know exactly what's the moment to go to the tree and just with one hit, it comes down. That is the level of relaxation. When you're eating something that is delicious and that you like so much, I love eating things with a small spoon because they last longer and I can taste them and I can taste every flavor in my life. How beautiful it is to enjoy life that way. How delicious it is to feel like life is this dance, this game where we get to discover everything that is available for us. At the end, what are we rushing towards? Towards death? That is the place where we're all headed. But what are the experiences that we want to have? How beautiful to hug a person that we love without feeling rushed to go and do something else. How beautiful to have a conversation and truly see the human that's in front of you. This week I had my huge list of to-do things and I met some girlfriends at a cafe and we started to have a conversation that didn't have anything to do with my work. And for a second I thought I should be working, I should be doing something else. But should I? Should I? How beautiful it is to, in a world where everybody's looking at screens, look at each other in the eyes. And I can tell you, I'm that permission sleep. I'm the proof that in my life, the more that I have slowed down, the deeper I can breathe, the more that I enjoy, the better everything turns out. I'm in this position of magnetism where I know I feel like a queen. I know I'm observing the kingdom and letting everything fall into place before making any observation. I can already observe myself and detach my identity from everything that happens. It's such a powerful seniority, maturity level when you don't have to react and you step back and observe things around you, letting them be for what they are. This is something that I was also sharing with the members of the mentorship, that when they recognize their art, it requires a stillness. When they recognize their gifts, their abilities, that thing that they're very good for and that they can provide service with, it requires a stillness to master that craft, to become better at it. And we're here playing a long-term game. We're here more than having a life experience, we're making life the experience itself. This is something that has been so present for me, and I wanted to share from this state of peace. Last month was my first 10K month, and I received a message from a person that said, oh, let's make it like that this is the minimum from now on. And when I received that message, I was like, oh, it doesn't feel good, because I got there. Every time that I break a ceiling in my life, I do it from a place of detachment to an outcome. I wasn't even looking at my bank account when I reached that amount. So I was like, no, no, it's not that now I'm going to be in a rush and be in a pressure. Not at all, because I know the way to get to where I want is being relaxed, because I know I'm already there. If I was rushed, I would be in the frequency of not having something. And then a person sent me a message today on my Instagram that they wanted to offer me a job, but he said like, oh, you're so clever and you have very good information, but you need to tight your execution and go harder at it, something like that. And I was like observing that message, and I'm like, this doesn't sound like something for me, because what I'm doing is working out so well. I was visiting my best friend in the States. I stayed there for a month in Miami, and there was a part of me that felt so guilty about taking naps during the day. And she would look at me and she's like, do you take naps? And I do. And I know that those are the things, my meditation, my naps, me dancing, me sitting down and having a good conversation, those are the investments with the highest return. Thank you for taking the time to sit here with me and to enjoy life together, to see the beauty. Today is a rainy day here in Medellin, and what a good day to be alive. What a good day to let emotions be, to let situations unfold. Curiosity, letting life surprise us. Rushed comes from the illusion that we can control. Life is not something to be planned or something to be controlled. Life is something to be enjoyed. And the experience requires presence. There's no presence in rush. If you want to continue having this conversation with me, you can find me on Instagram as @elizabethramirez.co. May you have a day full of miracles today, and especially may you become one.